Welcome to Lavanya's computer classes. In this video, I will explain data communications and computer networks. So, in the computer networks, how we transfer the data. So, what is data communication? So, in this data communication, first we go, what is data? What is data means anything, any raw material is known as data. But what is information? So, anything, any raw fact is known as data. Next one is what is information? What is information means data with meaning is known as information. So, here two words, one is the data, second one is the information. So, data with meaning is known as information. So, once you want to send the information from one device to another device, here one device, here another device, or one person, either one person or any device. If we want to send the information from one person to another person or one device to another device or one place to another place, if you want to exchange the information from one to another, that is called as data communication. Communication means transferring the data. The transferring the data means exchanging the data from one to another. Either it may be person to person or device to device. If you are sending WhatsApp messages, so WhatsApp messages means you are sending the message from one phone to another phone. So, the data is exchanged from one device to another device. So, that is called as data communication. But if we are sending the data communication either person to person, person to device, device to device, whatever it is. So, who are sending the information? That person is known as sender. So, here two are known as, one is the sender, second one is the receiver. So, who is sender? Sender means who is sending the information, that person or that device is known as sender. Who is receiving the information, other hand, who is receiving the information, that person or that device is known as receiver. So, here sender be receiver, sender and receiver both are important. And in between these two, you have to take some rules and regulations. Sender and receiver both are follow some rules. According to that rules only you are sending the information. That rules are known as protocols. You have to follow some protocols for sending the information from one receiver to another, or sender to receiver, or device to device, or person to person. So, this is known as data communication. Communication means just nothing but transfer the information, exchange the information from one person to another person. So, how many types of data communications we have? There are two types of data communications, two types. The first one is local communication. First one is local communication and second one is remote communication. There are two types of communications. One is local communication, second one is remote communication. What is the meaning of local? Local communication means here one person is there and here one more person is there. Both are sit together and talk one to one, face to face interaction. The face to face interaction is known as local communication. That means both are sit together nearby. So, all are sender and receiver at one place. So, that type of communication is known as local communication. Second one is remote. Remote means far distance. If the sender is one place and receiver is in another place, but I want to communicate information from sender to receiver, those are known as remote communication. For remote communications, the examples are our WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages, telecommunications. These all are the example for remote communication. So, now what we are learning means what is data, what is data, what is information, what is communication. Communication means data communication. And what are the types of data communication? So, what is data means any raw fact is known as data. Anything is known as data. What is information? Data with meaning is known as information. What is data communication? What is communication? Communication means transferring the information from one person to another person. Exchange of information. Exchanging the information is known as communication. If you are exchanging data, that is known as data communication. So, how many types of data communication we have? There are two types of data communications. One is local, second one is remote. Local communication means both are near. Those are known as like face-to-face. Face-to-face communication. Remote means far distance. If you want to send any information in far places, that type of communication is known as remote communication. Your telegrams, telephones, letters, WhatsApp messages, those all are examples for remote transformation, remote data communication. After that, now I will explain what are the components of data communication. What are the components of data communication? What are the components? Means if we want to send the information from one to another, we need some requirements. Those requirements are known as components. So, what are the components of data communication? Means here we need 5 components. One is sender. Second one is receiver. Already I explained these two. Sender, receiver. And third one is message. Fourth one is protocols. And fifth one is transmission media. What is transmission? Transmission means sending, transmit the information. For transmit the information, we need something, those are known as transmission media. So, these 5 are known as components of data communication: sender, receiver, message, protocols, transmission media. So, now we go for what is the transmission media. Transmission, first what is sender? Already we know who is sending the information, that person is known as sender. Either it may be person or it may be device. Receiver, who is receiving the information, those are known as receiver. Message, for sender to receiver, what type of information we are passing from sender to receiver, that is known as message. Here sender is there, here receiver is there. Sender wants to send something, receiver is receiving something. So, what it receiving, what he is sending, that is known as message. Our letters, our communication matter, whatever you want to send from one place to another place, that is known as message. So, this is one component. Protocols, these are the important thing. Protocol means rules. Sender and receiver both are understanding how we are sending, how we are receiving. For that, both are keeping some rules. Those rules are known as protocols, because sender is accepting some rules, receiver is sending some rules. Both are not agree on one rule, means it is not possible to, sender is what type of message is sending, receiver is not able to receive. So, both are agree on some rules, both are follow that rules, then only it is possible to communicate easily, sender and receiver. Those are known as protocols. Transmission media. Sender is in one place, receiver is in another place, it is a remote communication. How the sender and receiver both are communicate each other. For that we need some common media we require. Either it is wireless media like with wire, whatever it is. Phone, wireless, Wi-Fi, internet, those all are known as media. So, now I explain some proper diagram. This is the components of a diagram. Sender, receiver. Sender is receiving the sender is sending the information, then receiver is receiving the information. Who is sending the information? That person is known as sender. Who is receiving the information? That person is known as receiver. So, how we are sending the information? For that we need some media. That media is known as transmission media. Either we are using Wi-Fi or internet facility or telephone wires, whatever it is. So, transmission media we require. Here message, through transmission media what you are sending? You are sending the message. So, sender is one protocol, one component, receiver is second protocol, transmission media third component, message fourth component, then both sender and receiver compulsory follow the protocols. Protocols means set of rules. Both the persons are taking some rules and according to that rules only they are sending the messages. So these are the components of data communication. I will send the notes now. So what is data? Data refers to the information presented in whatever the format is agreed upon by the parties. Parties means either it is sender or receiver, both creating and using the data. Creating party is known as sender, using that party is known as receiver. So what is data communication? It is the exchange of information between two devices or two persons through same form of transmission media. This is important. Both are follow the same transmission media. One party, sender is sending the information on WhatsApp messages, but his receiver is check the message on the Facebook. How it is possible? That's why both are follow, either both are WhatsApp messages or both are Facebook messages. Both are before only we take some agree. Taking some agree, both are sending the messages through WhatsApp or both the messages are sending through Facebooks. So this is the data communication. How many types of data communications we have? There are two types of data communication: local communication, remote communication. What is local communication? The sharing of information between two individual persons. That is face-to-face communication is known as local communication. I already explained. This is the local communication. Next one is remote communication. What is remote communication? The sharing of information takes place over a long distance is called as remote communication. The remote communication examples are telecommunications like telephones, televisions, telegrams. What is tele means? Tele is a Greek word which means it is a far distance. That's why television. Television means are getting the news from TVs. But news reader is somewhere and listeners, reader is somewhere, listener is somewhere. But then also you have to get the communication between these two through television. So these everything is known as remote communication. Next question is components of data communication. Already I said there are 5 components are there. One is the message, sender, receiver, protocols, transmission media. This is the diagram. I think it is not visible here. So this is the diagram. Sender, receiver, transmission media, protocols. Both the sets have to keep same protocols. Using these protocols, using the transmission media, we can send the message. So this is the components of data communication. Here I am explain what is message, what is sender, what is receiver, what are the protocols. So this is just introduction about data communication. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel, share it to your friends. Thank you.